So I've discovered this concept I'm really excited about. It's Saturday morning. You can see I'm not dressed to be in the office, but something happened last night that kind of got me down this path, and then I was able to apply it this morning as I was reading my book. Um, so I have to share this because I think this is, just, I think it's great. I'm kind of biased, but uh, so what happened yesterday that got me thinking about this concept was I've been using it for years, and I didn't realize I've been doing this, but working across different professions in different fields, right? There's basic building blocks in business, right? And then depending on the field you're in, those change up a little bit, right? But I've never been able to explain that. What is that change, right? Um, if you look at business theory, a lot of business theory goes back to the early 1900s, the industrialization of the world, right? And the what are the factories and the the chains where you build stuff, right? I can't get the word right now, but um, so there's these building blocks, right? You build the blocks, and each department is kind of its own block, and then there's a sequence of launching that to the public and getting paid. So um, but there's certain truths that even from like a factory where you're building an actual product to a service, the service industry, like the building blocks kind of, there's a certain pattern to it all, right? And then but it doesn't always translate exactly. And so we were in the conference room yesterday, and there was this shiny thing, and we didn't know what this thing was, and we're like, wow, it's so awesome. Yeah, I totally get what you're talking about. What is it, right? Found something, and it's so exciting. I've learned now since last night, we're going to call that a module, right? And every module, the stacking blocks, we're going to call sequences. Okay. And so what we did is we found the actual sequence, the block it belonged in, and we unplugged a piece of it. We unplugged one of the modules, and we plugged in this new shiny thing. We had no idea what it was. And we found out that it was an upgrade, right? It's an upgrade. And so um, in my book this morning, I'm reading, and something very similar happened to me. And I saw this thing, and having been through the process last night, I was like, okay, which block does it go in? And I found the block eventually, and I unplugged one of my modules, and I plugged this thing in. I was like, boom, genius. And so I'm driving around, and I'm looking at billboards, and I'm walking through the stores, and I'm observing the marketing and the practices of different businesses. And I said, how cool is this? Like, I'm working right now, observing, and I can, now that I understand the block sequence and the different modules that you plug in and out, I'm like a pack rat. But I could be a proper pack rat by, I know which sequence it goes in, and I know what module. So I'm going to pull out that bin, and I'm going to start collecting these different pieces that I could plug in and out later on. Um, and so that's being a proper pack rat in the business that you're in. I think is golden. There's so many ideas out there, and everybody thinks their idea is the best, and they're right, right? Whatever field they're in. And if you've learned to do something really good, repeatable, you're a master at it. And it is the best thing. It just might not be the best thing for a surgeon, or it might not be the best thing for the yard care business, right? And that might not be the best thing for an electrician. Whatever business you're in, right? Lawyers, CPAs, insurance salesmen. I don't want to miss anybody. I'm going to miss somebody. Realtors, right? It's all a little bit different, but the sequences and the modules concept, it works all over the place. And so that's just kind of the idea I want to get out there is become a pack rat, observe, put things in the proper order, right? You don't have to deal with it right now, but put it away. Keep working on your launch sequence, and eventually when you get there, you can pull it back out and say, let's try this thing on. See you later.